connect this piece, there we go, and then this piece over here, and then this piece, then down over there, where we'll put on this piece. And this goes here, and there we go, and now this foot goes here. Now, since we're done with that, we can put in the muscles, there we go, put them in a neat fashion, make sure they're nice and secure. There we go, let's put in the next piece. And there we go, put in the piece. Now move over.
Review time! Let's get started, fellow compatriots! Before we get started, let me lay down a few rules. Number 1, everything that I say is entitled to my opinion. Number 2, there will be 3 criteria that the mock will be scored on, such as A, its appearance, B, the build of the mock, C, the inspiration behind the mock's creation. With each having 5 points total, leaving a final total of 15 points. So, let's get started, shall we? So, this is Hellbent 2.0, made by Richard Does Things. Pretty impressive, I have to say. Now, I can tell that right off the bat, this is supposed to be a total fire from what I can get from, at least, that's what I can interpret from Richard Does Things videos that he has posted, based off of this character. Now, this is a revamp of the original that he previously made. Now, despite that, I had to say that the color scheme works for this character, especially, since it is supposed to be an underworld-like character. But more on that later. Now, color scheme-wise, I had to say that this mock pulls off pretty well for the fire motif, as well as that underworld-like vibe, based off of the dark colors, the dark metallic. The gold looks pretty nice too, but I feel like it could use a little bit more gold over in the torso area, since it's kind of a little bit lacking. But besides that, it looks good. You know, there's a right amount of the coloring throughout the entire build. But in my opinion, those blue pins are sticking out over in that adamant area. You know, I think it would help if there were some system pieces to cover it up, but that's just my opinion. Now let's move on to the build. Now, the build, it is very unique. You know, the legs, the arms. But let's get this out of the way. The arms. I know, the arms are a little simplistic. I do have to admit, they are a little simplistic. Usually I have the same problem with my figures as well when it comes to arms. But, I mean, even though it is simplistic, it pulls it off very effectively due to the arrangement of parts. I mean, it is pretty unique, especially the tires and the elbows, man. It's so good. Now when we get to the back, there is a great amount of coverage. I mean, the back is pretty well covered, along with the back of the legs. You know, the upper, where the hamstrings would be. You know, I'm talking about, like, muscle parts. Sorry about that. I'm kind of a little complicated with these things, but you get the drill. And, I mean, very ingenious way in using that spider head over there. Very ingenious. Why did I say Jesus? Now, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, the legs. So, the design of the legs, I think, they look pretty impressive, I have to admit. Especially how we use those, shell pieces that you would typically find in Star Wars sets. I think those black ones are from the Kylo Ren set. He's using it as knees. I mean, that is pretty unique. First time I think I've seen that. Very impressive. Can I steal your idea, Richard? Ah, I'm just kidding. I'm not. Well, anyways, yeah, pretty neat. Now, let me get this out of the way right now. The hands. I just noticed this now. Those hands. I've never seen a design like that before. I mean, the way he designed the backside of the hand so that he can actually incorporate that dark gray in to complement with the rest of the color scheme of the entire body of the character itself. Now, at the same token, the orange in the thumb and the middle finger. I mean, I don't see any orange in the rest of the figure, even though I do see clear orange, but just not orange. In my opinion, I might have used some clear orange in there to really put in that elemental vibe to it. But still, I mean, I never seen that design. I actually really like those hands, though, by the way. Just saying. Now, concept-wise, this mock is basically supposed to be a Toa-like character that came from the underworld, basically, Hades, if you will. But the thing is, from what I've seen from some of the videos that Richard Does Things made, basically Richard Does Things is the person that made this mock. If you want to check out his channel, I'll put a link in the description down below, but, I mean, if it's supposed to be a underworld-like character, I mean, it will probably need some more, spikes and all that stuff, but, I mean, he does have the sharp claws, and this character does have an obsession on wanting to kill and stuff like that. It's like, ooh, I just got my nails done, I want to go on a killing spree kind of deal. So much for that money, huh? Probably Richard Does Things knows what I'm talking about. You guys probably don't know. That's why I say, go check out his channel. But anyways, let's not get too off topic. I mean, this character is supposed to be coming from the underworld. So, I would first think, hey, maybe it should have more spikes. That's what I would do, at least. Also, another thing, since, now this is a couple of suggestions that you could do, Richard Does Things, that I think would be awesome, at least, hopefully you have the pieces for it, but maybe put some wings on it. Now, that will give it a very demonic-like vibe, you know, along with a couple of changes here and there, but that's what I would do. But, I mean, this is your mock. As it is right now, it looks impressive. As the mock looks, as it is, the build is good. The actual design of it is pretty impressive, but if it's supposed to be like a character from Hades, you know, a hellish mock, I would expect more demonic vibe out of it, but I'm not getting much out of that. Now let's go to the final score, shall we? Now on terms of appearance, this mock gets 4 out of 5. Now, even though the appearance is pretty striking, I do actually like it. It's just that when you get to the stomach area, I mean, it could use a little bit more work. You know, you can see clearly how it's built. You know, it's not covered up too well or stuff like that. I mean, but still, a very good mock. I just think it would use a little bit more improvement for the stomach area. As for the build, this mock gets 5 out of 5. I know, I might be a little bit sounding a little bit generous here, but hear me out. It looks like it can take, the mock looks like it can take a lot of punishment. I mean, you could toss it against a wall and it will probably stay in one piece. Not saying that you should toss it against a wall, but, I mean, the build looks very sturdy nonetheless. And that is why I gave it a score. So, judge me however you like, but it looks pretty solid to me. Now for the concept and idea behind the mock's creation. 2 out of 5. Now, I mean, I know it's supposed to be a demonic looking character, you know, as if a Toa came from the underworld kind of thing. But it kind of portrays it, which is why I gave it a 2 out of 5. I didn't give it a 0 out of 5. But still, I think it could use a little bit more improvement. Sorry, Richard, but it's just my opinion. But yeah. I mean, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just that, I mean, it doesn't feel so much as a fire demonic-like character. And the final score on this monk is 11 out of 15. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And don't forget to go check down in the description for Richard Does Things channel, as well as, well, that's about it. Just Richard Does Things channel. Well, anyways, see you all later. What's that? You're wondering, where can I go to send pictures of my mock to here? Well, don't worry. Only thing you had to do is go down to the description, and if you have a Gmail account, you can send me pictures of your own mock, and I might just review them. So send them. Hello, I am Tributron, also known as Raphael, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Bye-bye.
Tahu, sup? Hope you enjoyed.